Or is it the second paragraph? A car full of gold being rolled through the streets of Savatthi. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's all turn to page 302. Second paragraph. A car full of gold.
Okay, อาจารย์
Okay. Moment. A cart full of gold being rolled through the streets of Savatthi must have drawn quite a bit of attention, comments Upali with a laugh. Not nearly as much attention as the dress had drawn on the back of that elephant, shoots back Visaka, greatly amused. Looking back on that day, people must have thought I had gone bankrupt and had been forced to sell it. So what happened when you took the gold to the monastery? Asked Sapuka. I told the Buddha what had happened with the dress, and that I didn't think it was proper to wear it again. I said that I had sold it, and asked him how I could use the gold for the benefit of the Sangha. Without a second thought, the Lord said, "It would be fitting if you built a monastery near the eastern gate of this city." I clapped my hands I clapped my hands for joy, hearing this idea from the master's lips. I immediately went out and bought a suitable piece of land near the eastern gate, and then immersed myself with architectural designs and making preparations for construction. One day, I heard the Buddha was walking toward the northern gate. This usually meant that he was leaving Savatthi, and there was no way of knowing when he would return. I rushed to him at once, saying, "Please wait until the monastery is completed before you go out of town, Lord. I want you to oversee its building to make sure it is to your liking." When he looked at me, I knew at once that he couldn't wait. I said, "If you can't be here, then please leave some bhikkhu behind who can supervise in your absence." The Lord then said, "Visaka, take the alms bowl of the bhikkhu of your choice. Venerable Ananda knows that he's always been my favorite, but I thought about the construction project and realized that Venerable Moggallana, with his vast psychic powers, might be the best one for the job." "I know you didn't mind, Venerable Sir," says Visaka, looking fondly at her old friend. "Of course I didn't mind, Visaka," says Ananda. "I was planning to go with the Buddha on his journey anyway, and besides, Venerable Moggallana was the best choice. Am I not right?" "Indeed you are," answered Visaka. "Venerable Moggallana made sure things were expedited very quickly, very carefully, and very safely. Not a single worker had an accident, and there were no mishaps with late arriving materials, laborers, the weather, or any other unforeseeable crisis that inevitably arises while working on such a project. The Buddha and I were gone 9 months, and when we returned, the monastery was completed," says Ananda. "I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw what you had built, Visaka. It was splendid, a real achievement in design and construction. There were 500 rooms for monks' residences on the first floor and 500 more on the second. You also had 500 meditation cubicles, several meeting spaces, an auditorium, and numerous other useful amenities. I asked the Buddha if he would kindly stay in the new monastery during the coming rainy season retreat, and he and he agreed. I offered dana to the Buddha and his sangha in thanks, as Visaka. From that point onwards, for the next 4 months, you provided dana on a daily basis and saw to our every conceivable need, as Ananda. I remember the robes you gave to each and every bhikkhu one day, the quality of which was unmatched by any we had ever received. I must say, though, that you went a bit overboard. Sorry, that you went a bit overboard with your generosity that full moon day in November. You offered the monastery to the Buddha in a grand ceremony none of us will ever forget. Yes, I suppose I did get a bit carried away. but it was because I was so happy. I had actually built and donated a monastery to the Buddha. I danced around the courtyards uh, all through all through that full moon night. I know it probably wasn't very proper, but I couldn't help myself. Everyone probably thought I had gone completely mad. The truth is, my cherished ambitions from previous births had finally been realized, and I couldn't contain my excitement. I have no doubt that I made a total spectacle of myself, exclaims Osaka using a voice that fully communicates her happiness. I'm surprised the Buddha didn't give me a scolding for my unseemly behavior, but he would never have done that, knowing how utterly happy I was. I wouldn't exactly call your performance a spectacle, says Ananda, at least in a classical sense of the word, but you definitely conveyed your immense pleasure to everyone. You were free as a bird, and you sang and danced around as if you were completely by yourself. I'll never forget the way you were. I'll never forget the way you were that night, Visakha. And I say that with the greatest possible respect. The Arahants and Visakha's offspring are beaming with happiness as Ananda recalls her memorable moonlight performance.
Okay.
They all know the high spirits of the. Sorry, did someone say something?
Nothing, Ajahn.
Okay. They all know the high spirits of the Buddha's foremost matron, and they know she is capable of doing just about anything. Visakha grins and says, You know, I'm so happy that I could get up and dance right now. Sorry. I'm so happy that I could get up and dance right now. Would you like me to sing you a song? Just imagine. We are sitting in one of the first buildings of a brand new monastery. I get to do the whole thing all over again. Mahakassapa says, I regret having to put an end to this delightful occasion, but it is very late, and council starts again at dawn. As always, Visakha, sorry, as always, Visakha, we are grateful to you for everything, especially for coming here to be with us today. I hope I haven't kept you venerables up too late. I've been having such a good time, especially with my girls here with me. When I think of the new, when I think of the new monastery without the Buddha, though, uh, it does sadden me a bit, says Visakha as her eyes begin to tear. Visakha manages to compose herself quickly. She and her female relatives rise together and prepare to take their leave. Very solemnly, she leads the way as they pay obeisance to the Arahants as they depart. It is a happy ending to a memorable day, and the Arahants return to their chambers even more blissful than usual. The steep climb up the mountain doesn't take as long as it might have, and this is undoubtedly due to the jubilant spirit of metta that permeates the atmosphere. Ananda stops on the path to reflect for a moment and says to himself, The Lord would have been very pleased. The Arahants on the subcommittee are already gathered in Mahakassapa's cave chamber for another long day of recitations in the assembly hall. Mahakassapa, it was such a delight to have Asaka with us yesterday, says Ananda. The high energy she brought to the council was so welcome, as are the gifts she has been bringing to the Sangha for so many years. I'm glad you enjoyed. I'm glad you enjoyed your surprise, responds Mahakassapa, smiling. I'm almost sorry. I'm always amazed when I think about the wealthy and influential people that have been attracted to the Buddha and his teachings since the very beginning, says Mahakasayana. The Sasana has been very fortunate to enjoy the patronage of some of the most powerful people of our day. While at the same time, the Buddha epitomized the egalitarian ideal. Many times over the years, he stressed the fact that what makes one a true noble is what one does, rather than what one has or is, or the status of the family of one's origin. Being born into a royal clan, sorry, being born into a royal clan, it was natural for aristocrats to gravitate towards the Buddha, not to mention the fact that his presence was so magnetic that all who met him were attracted to his goodness, no matter who they were, where they came from. Sorry, no matter who they were or where they came from, says Maria. He was able to mentor some of the great leaders of our era, begins Anuruddha, guiding them in the proper use of their worldly power. In many ways, the Buddha started from the top down in terms of preaching to the kings and princes of the world, and then the Dhamma filtered from the heads of states to their subjects who followed their virtuous examples. There were never any threats or coercion, as there have been in the past with other teachings. Upali says, the Buddha's teaching is universally applicable. It applies equally to kings, queens, tradesmen, householders, servants, and street sweepers. Simply by observing the basic five precepts, which can be understood by everyone, a better life can be had by all. You are quite right, my friend, says Bakula. All social problems result from the fact that the five precepts are not kept by everyone. They're so basic. Refrain from killing, stealing, lying, sexual misconduct, and intoxicants. All criminal activity, legal actions, wars, broken homes, and wrecked lives can be traced to the transgression of one or more of these five simple training rules for wholesome living. The Buddha never made sorry. The Buddha never said you must follow these precepts or else, which would generate fear in the hearts of his disciples, as Bona. He only said, if you want to end suffering in your life, I suggest you follow these precepts. He even instructed followers to use the words, I will refrain, rather than I swear to never. Knowing human nature the way he did, he understood that people might break the precepts from time to time. He made it clear, though, that if they were broken, the individual could always make fresh new commitments to keeping the precepts and to improving their lives. Ananda says, the Chakravarti Sihanara Sutta sums it up brilliantly, even though it includes some additional precepts. First, it speaks of the consequence of not keeping the precepts. Although I have already recited this earlier in the council, I'd like to share a few lines now. Okay, any volunteers?
Okay, we will try.
Yes.
Careful of being rode through the streets of Savatthi must have drawn quite a bit of attention. Comes Upali was alive. Not nearly as much attention as the judge had drawn on the back of the elephant. Socks by Visakha, greatly amused. Looking back on that day, people must have thought I had gone bankrupt and had been forced to sell it. So what happened when you took the gold to the monastery as Sobaka? I told the Buddha what had happened with the dress, and that I didn't think it was proper to wear it again. I said that I had sold it and asked him how I could use the gold for the benefit of the Sangha. Without a second thought, the Lord said, it would be fitting if you build a monastery near the eastern gate of the city. I clapped my hands for joy. Hear this idea from the master's lips. I immediately went out and bought a suitable piece of land near the eastern gate, and then immediately myself was architecturally designs and making proportions for construction. One day, I heard the Buddha was walking toward the northern gate. This usually meant that he was leaving Sawadhi, and there was no way of knowing when he would return. I rushed to him and was saying, "Please wait until the monastery is completely before you go out of town. Lord, I want you to oversee its building to make sure it's to your liking." I'm stuck here.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, so
We are
I want
down.
yes.
Correct. Correct. Second paragraph. That's where we started. You can read from page 303 if you'd like.
In 303. 303. When we look at, yes, you can start. Right.
Okay. Anyone else?
Okay, and I will try. Around the border, and we got around 9 months. When we returned, the monastery was completely reset, and then I couldn't believe my other one. So, what you have built Visaka. It was a splendid achievement and the consideration. There were 500 room for residents resident on the first floor, 500 more on the second. You also have a 500 meditation cafe called Sabre Beach space auditory and numerous other usable amenity. I asked about the ever he will kindly sit and the new monastery during the coming rainy season retreat and he agrees. I offer I offered to the Buddha and his singer. I think VAJRAYANA. From that point onwards, for the next hour, you provided dana on daily basis. Such our every concept for Nietzsche and I remember there was you gave to each and every bhikkhu one day. The quality which was I measure by any we had never received. I must say those that you want a bit over both with your generosity and the Puma and November. You offer the monastery to the Buddha grand ceremony none of when never forgets. Yes, I suppose I did get a big query with but it was because I was so happy. And I had actually better and donate the monastery to the Buddha. I danced around the years on the roads and the Fuma nights. I know probably wasn't very from better. I couldn't have myself. Everyone probably around also I had gone completely mad. The truth is my share ambition from previous but had finally been realized. I couldn't counter them. I have no doubt that my special myself are basically with using voice and pure communicate hard happiness. I spread the Buddha didn't give me scolding for my actually behind the but he would never have done that. Knowing how utterly happy I was. I wonder exactly call your performance spectacle set another. A lesson under classic or some of the words, but you definitely convey your immense affliction to everyone. You were free as per you dance around as you were completely by yourself. I never forget the way you were the nice Usaka. I sent that with the great possible respect. Okay, I'm just asking.
Okay. Would anyone else like to read before we explain? Okay.
No.
Let's go back to page 302, shall we?
Yes.
A cart full of gold. A cart full of gold being rolled through the through the streets of Sawate must have drawn quite a bit of attention, comments Subali with a laugh. Do you guys understand? Any questions?
Duran crave better attention.
Okay, so drawn. Drawn is past tense for draw. There's draw and there's drew, sorry. Must have drawn. So when you draw attention, that means you catch people's attention, you make people look. So quite a bit is much, a lot. Yeah. So that means the cart full of gold being rolled through the streets must have made many people look. Not nearly as much attention as the dress had drawn on the back of that elephant, shoots back Visakha, greatly amused. No questions? Looking back on that day, people must have thought, okay.
Shot back Visakha.
It's like to quickly reply, to quickly say something in return.
Oh, yes.
Looking back on that day, people must have thought I had gone bankrupt and had been forced to sell it.
Laugh.
Bankrupt. Bankrupt is like when you lose all of your money, when you suddenly have no more money. Bankrupt. So what happened when you took the gold to the monastery? Asked Sopaka. I told the Buddha what had happened with the dress and that I didn't think it was proper to wear it again. You guys understand, right? No questions?
Yes.
I said that I had sold
Yes,
it and asked him how I could use the gold for the benefit of the Sangha. Without a second thought, the Lord said, "It would be fitting if you built a monastery near the eastern gate of the city."
Pitting here is good, right? It would be pitting.
Fitting. Fitting is like suitable or appropriate.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. I clapped my hands for joy hearing this idea from the master's lips.
Okay.
I clear.
I clapped my hands. So when you clap your hands, yeah. Did you guys hear that?
No, I didn't.
No, I don't.
So when you clap your hands, you take your hands and you
Like it below.
yeah, like applaud.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I immediately went out and bought a suitable piece of land near the eastern gate, and then immersed myself with architectural designs and making preparations for construction.
Immerse myself as an.
When you immerse yourself in something, you completely surround yourself or put yourself inside something. It's like when you practice meditation at a meditation retreat, you immerse yourself in meditation, just only meditation.
Yeah.
Architectural.
Architectural. So architectural, this is a word that describes something that deals with architecture. What is architecture? So
House.
yeah, it's like the design of a building, or yeah. Uh, every country has its own architectural style. You know, like for example, monasteries and temples. Temples in Thailand might look different from temples in Myanmar. Temples in Myanmar and Thailand obviously looks different from temples in China because of the architectural style and architectural design, the way it looks, the way it was designed. Yeah. One day, I heard the Buddha was walking toward the northern gate. This usually meant that he was leaving Savatthi, and there was no way of knowing when he would return. You guys understand, right? No questions? Any questions? Going once, going twice? I rushed to
Yes.
him at once, saying, "Please wait until the monastery is completed before you go out of town, Lord. I want you to oversee its building to make sure it is to your liking."
Rush mean rain, right? Rush.
Rush. When you rush, you hurry. You try to do something or go somewhere in a hurry. Any other questions? No questions? Okay. When he looked at me, I knew at once that he couldn't wait. I said, "If you can't be here, then please leave some bhikkhu behind who can supervise in your absence." Sorry. No questions? Okay. The Lord then said, "Visakha, take the alms bowl of the bhikkhu of your choice." Venerable Ananda knows that he's always been my favorite, but I thought about the construction project and realized that Venerable Moggallana, with his vast psychic powers, might be the best one for the job. "I know you didn't mind, Venerable Sir," says Visakha, looking fondly at her old friend.
Psychic power.
Best
Sorry?
psychic power.
When
Ajahn with his
when something is vast, it's very wide. Think of like the ocean. The ocean is very vast. You can when you're in the middle of the ocean, you can look in any direction. All you see is water. That's how vast the ocean is. So his vast psychic powers. Psychic powers is like the ability to see the past, see the future, know people's minds, and just uh super normal powers concerning the mind.
yes.
Okay. Sorry. Every time like I read a sentence or like a paragraph, I always go and look at the transcript. Of course I didn't mind, says Zananda. I was planning to go with the Buddha on his journey anyway, and besides, Venerable Moggallana was the best choice. Am I not right? No questions? Okay. "Indeed you are," answered Visakha. Venerable Moggallana made sure things were expedited very quickly, very carefully, and very safely.
I expected it.
Expedited.
Expedited.
Expedite.
When something is expedited, it's like it's you make it move from one place to another. You expedite, usually like very quickly, from here to there.
Oh. For example, Ajahn?
Uh, it's like hmm. Okay, say for example, you forgot to prepare your visa extension documents, and now you only have 3 days to get your documents ready. So now the university has to expedite your documents to make it move quickly. Just focus on your documents and have everything done within 2 or 3 days instead of having to wait, 1 month.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. So clear then.
So how can I use ND impacts?
Sorry?
How can I use ND impact?
Indeed and in fact.
Yes, impact.
Indeed is a word we use to like agree with someone. In fact is like we use in fact when we want to confirm something. Either confirm something or reassure someone. It's like, for example, let's see here. Oh, why did my mind just go blank? It's like, let's say we're having a conversation, and for whatever reason we start talking about one of the achans at IBSC, and I say, oh, in fact, I was just talking to him. I was just talking to him yesterday, and he said that he would stop by sometime next week. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah. Indeed is more like you agree with something. Like, for example, you say, oh, it is very hot today. And I say, indeed it is. Yeah. Not a single worker had an accident, and there were no mishaps with late arriving materials, laborers, the weather, or any other unforeseeable crisis that inevitably arises while working on such a project.
All right, no mesh.
Sorry?
No mesh.
No match?
Yeah, all right. There were no mesh.
Mishap.
Oh, mishap.
Mesh.
Mishaps.
Mishap.
Yeah.
Mission.
Yeah. Mishap is like,
Yeah.
a mishap is like something. Okay, let's say, for example, we are preparing for some kind of uh, party or event, and we have to bring in extra chairs, tables, we have to bring in food, and just a whole bunch of things for the party or the ceremony or whatever. And something happens. Let's say, uh, something happened to all the tables, and for whatever reason, they're all broken. Like, for example, you're driving and the tables fall out of the truck and they break. So that's a mishap. Yeah.
Misfortune.
Yeah, it's almost like a misfortune. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
Unforeseen crazy.
Unforeseeable crisis. When something is unforeseeable, it's like something that you just cannot predict. Because in life, in life, things happen. So some things are unforeseeable. you're planning for this thing, and then suddenly something happens. You know, it's unforeseeable. A crisis is like a situation where um, things are not going quite as planned. Many mishaps. You know, you're struggling to do many things. Things have become very difficult for you. So it's a crisis.
Mm.
The Buddha and I were gone 9 months, and when we returned, the monastery was completed. Completed, says Ananda. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw what you had built, Visakha. It was splendid,
Yes.
a real achievement in design and construction.
Sublime
Yes,
is very
splendid is like
excellent.
very excellent, fantastic, marvelous, wonderful. Yeah.
Oh.
There were 500 rooms for monks' residences on the first floor, and 500 more on the second. Wow, 1,000 rooms. You also had 500 meditation cubicles, several meeting spaces, an auditorium, and numerous other useful amenities. You guys understand?
No, meditation service. What is
Meditation cubicles. Cubicle.
Service.
A cubicle. Well, in this
Cubicle.
in this context, a cubicle is a kuti, like a meditation kuti.
Oh,
But let me show you what a cube is. I gotta find a. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff in here. Okay, never mind. Think of a box. You know what a box is, right?
yes.
So a box is essentially a cube. So I'm still trying to look for like a good example, so I can turn on my camera. Yeah. So if you know what a box is, just think of a box. So that box is, a cube. A cubicle is just like a small space, like a
Yeah.
room. I asked the Buddha if he would kindly stay in the new monastery during the coming rainy season retreat, and he agreed. I offered dana to the Buddha and the Sangha in thanks, as Visakha.
I think like it. Thankfully.
In thanks, right?
Yes.
It's to she as a way to thank them or thank him for accepting her request to stay in the new monastery during the rainy season retreat. She offered dana. That was her way of saying thank you. From that point onwards, for the next 4 months, you provided dana on a daily basis and saw to our every conceivable need, adds Ananda.
Conceivable.
Conceivable. When something is conceivable, it's thinkable. You can imagine, you can think about it. You can yeah, it's just something that you can think of. Something that you can imagine in your mind. Every thinkable need. Yeah, every need that you can think of. Oh, they might need water. Oh, they might need food. Oh, they might need this. Oh, they might need that. You understand? I remember the robes you gave to each and every bhikkhu one day, the quality of which was unmatched by any we had ever received.
Unmatched.
Unmatched. Meaning unmatched means there's no other kind that's on the same level. Do you understand? There was uh, there's nothing that can compete that's even close. It's not even on the same level. Not nearly as good. Do you understand? Like the robes that other people offered uh were not as good. So the robes that she offered were the best in comparison to the other robes that were offered by other people. Do you understand? What she offered was the best. The, so it was unmatched. I must say though that you went a bit overboard with your generosity that full moon day in November.
Overboard.
When you go overboard, it means you do too much. Yeah. You either do too much or you say too much. Overboard.
Of course.
Yeah. You offer the
Overboard
monastery.
means too much.
Sorry?
Too much.
Yes.
Overboard means too much.
Yes. You either say too much or you do too much. So overboard. You do more than what is necessary. You say more than what is necessary. So you go overboard.
Of course.
You offer the monastery to the Buddha in a grand ceremony none of us will ever forget. Yes, I suppose I did get carried away. Oh, sorry. Yes, I suppose I did get a bit carried away, but it was because I was so happy. I had actually built and donated a monastery to the Buddha.
Then get a bit carried away.
When you get a bit carried away, okay. First of all, uh, when you get carried away, that means you you sort of you lose your awareness to the point where you do more or say more than you should. Uh, okay, for example, for example, we have class, and suddenly or not suddenly, but for whatever reason, I start talking about something else, and I continue talking for like 45 minutes. So that means I got carried away, uh, uh, telling the story. You understand?
Carried away.
Yeah, I got carried away. It should have been like a 5 minute story, but I just kept going and going and going, and then, so basically, I got carried away. Do you understand?
Do everything you want.
No, it's like you lose awareness of what you're doing, and you just keep going. You get carried away.
Okay.
I danced around in the courtyards all through that full moon night. I know it probably wasn't very proper, but I couldn't help myself. No questions. Everyone probably thought everyone probably thought I had gone completely mad. The truth is, my cherished ambitions from previous births had finally been realized, and I couldn't contain my excitement.
Are they gone completely mad?
Completely mad. It's like to become insane or crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I have no doubt that I made a total spectacle of myself, exclaimed Osaka using a voice that fully communicates her happiness.
Spectacle.
A spectacle is like something that you can watch that's usually amazing. So maybe when she said the word spectacle, I think for her it was just like it wasn't in a sense of it wasn't when she said spectacle, it probably wasn't in the normal sense of the word. So maybe she was mad and everyone was looking at her, everyone was watching her, so she made a spectacle of herself, like a show, so people can see. I'm surprised the Buddha didn't give me a scolding for my unseemly behavior, but he would never have done that, knowing how utterly happy I was. No questions?
Scolding. Give me a scolding.
Scolding. Scolding. A scolding is like think of a parent saying something to their child after their child had done something wrong or bad, so that the parent will scold his or her child for doing something wrong or doing something bad. You say something to hurt the other person's feelings for doing something stupid or doing something wrong. Do you understand? No.
No.
Yes.
No. It's like you ever do something bad?
Can you say the synonym, Ajahn? Synonym. Maybe I might get the sense better than explaining sometime.
I can't really think of a synonym. Scold. Like you ever, like when you were a young boy, uh you ever uh, like have you ever done anything bad to make your parents
Yes.
angry, and they say bad words to you to make you feel sad, or scared?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's scold. So if you've ever done anything bad when you were a child and your parents found out, and your parents had to say something to you out of anger, that's scold. They're scolding you. they're
I,
they're speaking to you in a very
they
angry way.
blame, like the blame to me.
Yeah, they criticize you, they blame you, they say bad words to you. That's scold. You understand?
Okay. Yes.
Because our parents, they only want what's good for us. They don't want us to get hurt. They don't want us to die young. They just, yeah, they worry about us. So when we do bad things, or when we when we do things that could possibly hurt us, they will scold us for it. They will say uh they will say many mean things to us to hurt our feelings, to let us know that they do not approve of our action.
Yes. Yeah. And unseemly behavior mean hidden behavior or
Sorry.
unclear behavior, something like that. And unseemly behavior.
Unseemly is like inappropriate or unfitting or not suitable.
Not suitable.
It's basically inappropriate.
Oh,
It's not right. It's like for monks. Is it
oh,
appropriate? Is it appropriate for monks to travel at 2 a.m.?
oh, okay.
Yeah. uh, uh, going outside at 2 a.m. is very unseemly. It's unseemly hours for monks, right?
Yeah,
So it's inappropriate. It's not suitable. It's not fitting.
yeah.
I wouldn't exactly call your performance a spectacle, says Ananda, at least in a classical sense of the word. But you definitely conveyed your immense pleasure to everyone.
Convey.
So when you convey something, you either do something or you say something to let other people know and understand. It's like when you write something or when you speak, you try to convey your thoughts, your ideas, your feelings or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like if you have an idea, you have to find the right words to convey your ideas for other people to understand.
Oh,
You were free as a bird, and you sang and danced around as if you were completely by yourself. I'll never forget the way you were that night, Visakha, and I say that with the greatest possible respect. The Arahants and Visakha's offspring are beaming with happiness as Ananda recalls her memorable moonlight performance. No questions?
Beaming with happiness.
Beaming. To beam is like to smile. Yeah.
Yeah.
They all know the high spirits of the Buddha's most foremost matron, and they know she is capable of doing just about anything.
matron.
A matron. A matron is a woman who sponsors or provide benefits or donations to someone. It's a woman. If it's a man, it's a patron. So let me double check.
Yeah, Ajahn, correct. Because I remember last time you explained matriarch and patriarch.
No. It might have a different meaning. Sorry.
It means the female, right?
Well, it's definitely a female, but it might not have
No.
anything to do with being a patron or a patronage.
here matron.
Yeah, it's a different meaning. It has many different meanings, but it has nothing to do with support. There's one that says, "I married a woman who is old enough and of a high enough social class to have the respect of others." So I think this is what they mean. But Visakha, is she married? She's an arahant, isn't she?
Not yet. It's still Sodapana.
His wife.
Sotapan. So she still has a husband. Okay, she's a married woman who's old enough or has enough social class, for other people to respect her. I think this is the one that they're referring to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Visakha grins and says, "I'm so happy that I could get up and dance right now." You said right now or right now. Would you like me to sing you a song? Just imagine we are sitting in one of the first buildings of a brand new monastery. I get to do the whole thing all over again. Any questions?
But not allowed to listen music and watching the performer, right? Right here.
Yeah. Mahakassapa says, "I regret having to put an end to this delightful occasion, but it is very late, and council starts again at dawn." As always, Visakha, we are grateful to you for everything, especially for coming here to be with us today. I hope I haven't kept you venerables up too late. I've been having such a good time, especially with all my girls here with me. When I think of the new monastery without the Buddha, though, it does sadden me a bit, says Visakha with her eyes, as her eyes begin to tear.
Here not without the Buddha or Buddha statue.
Without the Buddha himself, not a statue. Visakha manages to compose herself quickly. She and her female relatives rise together and prepare to take their leave. Very sorry.
Prefer to take their leave mean they are doing to leave.
Yeah, to leave basically. To take your leave is basically just to leave. No. Very solemnly, she leads the way as they pay obeisance to the Arahants as they depart. Solemnly is like very seriously.
Very serious.
Yeah. When like serious and sincerely. Like, I solemnly swear. That means I sincerely promise. So they sincerely no. Yeah. Very solemnly, but very sincerely, she leads the way as they pay obeisance to the Arahants. Can we stop here? My phone is going to die, and
Just a little bit. Why you're not charging? Just a little bit. We will finish all of this chapter.
Okay. It is a happy ending to a memorable day, and the Arahants return to their chambers even more blissful than usual. Any questions? No questions?
No question.
The steep climb up the mountain doesn't take as long as it might have, and this is undoubtedly due to the jubilant spirit of Metta that permeates the atmosphere.
The steep climb.
The steep means people or not? Steep.
No, steep is like referring to a hill or a mountain that is very difficult to climb because of the angle.
Oh.
You understand? Like
Okay.
if you're on a hill and it's very difficult for you to climb up that hill, that means the hill is steep. The angle is like it's too straight. It's not slanted enough.
Okay.
Ananda stops on the path to reflect for a moment.
Jubilant spirit.
Jubilant is like I don't know what they mean by jubilant spirit of Metta, but jubilant, like very, very happy.
Oh, joy.
Yeah. Ananda stops on the path to reflect for a moment and says to himself, the Lord would have been very pleased. No questions?
Yes.
Okay, let's stop here and let's meet again tomorrow and continue to suffer.
Okay. Tomorrow aja.
Okay, see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.